नमस्कार। श्री Ramakrishna Kathamrita. Kathamritam tapjivanam kaviभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृतो प्रथम भाग द्वितीय खंडो और षष्ठ परिच्छेद. And in this sixth chapter, Sri Ramakrishna is earnestly telling us about the achievements on spiritual journey. All those he described us so beautifully about those seven planes. What happens to the mind when mind reaches from one plane to another, and then samadhi in the last plane, and then dropping off all the works. As soon as a person reaches samadhi, all the works they drop off. And he also gave an example of that daughter-in-law having once she becomes pregnant, all her duties they start coming down month for month, and then in the last month, minuscule duties, very few, and finally, at the arrival of the newborn, when the child is born, all duties they stop, except he has to only look after the little one. What happens? And Sri Ramakrishna says, what happens to the works that she was doing earlier? And then he told us that it is not that the work ends all of a sudden. No. The other women folk in the family, the mother-in-law, the husband's sister, the wife of husband's brother, all other women folk, they will share those duties. And like Sri Ramakrishna says, what takes care of your duties once you reach Samadhi? And then he also told us that one can retain the body only up to 21 days having reached Samadhi. After 21 days, the body drops. And yesterday in our closing discussion, we had raised this doubt that if that is the case, Sri Ramakrishna has himself attained Samadhi, how is it that he is still amongst us and talking to us, giving these beautiful teachings? And to this, Sri Ramakrishna is clearing that doubt, is going to explain to us how it happens, how it works. Sri Ramakrishna says, অবতারাদির শরীর সমাধিপর লোক শিক্ষার জন্য. He said that this retaining of body by people like incarnations is only for one purpose, that is give instructions, to give spiritual teachings to the people. And Sri Ramakrishna further elaborates on this point. সমাধিস্থ হবার পর আয় শরীর থাকে না. He says, or after attaining samadhi, normally body doesn't remain, the body dies. কারো কারো লোক শিক্ষার জন্য শরীর থাকে, যেমন নারদাদের. But a very few the teachers, eternal teachers like Narada, are Chaitanya Dever mot Avtarader, or the incarnations like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They retain these bodies. They further leave after attaining Samadhi only with the purpose of Lok Shikshar Janno, only to give spiritual instructions to you remember when once Sri Ramakrishna had given, while talking to Keshav Chandra Sen, he had told that first get a command from God and then you start teaching. Otherwise, your teaching without getting a command from God is like blind leading a blind. You will also fall into the ditch and you will take others also with you. And this is what getting the command from God. First attain that stage, then retain the body to spread, share that experience, to give those teachings to the people. Then you can be a good teacher like Narada, the eternal teacher, or Chaitanya Deva, the incarnation, like Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation. They can only retain the body. And Sri Ramakrishna again gives this example. খুব খন্ডা হয়ে গেলে কেহ কেহ ঝুড়ি কোদাল বিদায় করে দেয়. When people are digging well, what happens? They will bring all those spade and baskets and keep on digging, taking out the soil, taking out the mud, throwing it, and then finally they will dig the level of water is there. They find water. Then they give a final shape to the well. And now the well with good quality of water is ready for use. Then what happens? They just throw away that spade and basket which they have used for digging the well. Their purpose of digging well is over, so they think that the spade and basket is of no use now. So throw it out. And in some places, there is this particular tradition that they will throw that spade and basket into the well itself. Because the purpose is over, it is not required anymore. But Sri Ramakrishna says, কেউ কেউ রেখে দে ভাবে যদি পাডার কারো দরকার হয়. But some people, some wise people, they keep this spade and basket aside with great care, thinking maybe somebody in the vicinity will need it in future. Why just throw it? So, the people who retain their bodies after the stage of after reaching the samadhi, after experiencing samadhi, are like these people. They don't throw away the spade and basket. They keep it. Thinking somebody in the vicinity, somebody in our village, somebody in our locality may need it in future. For others' sake, they keep their spade and basket. For others' sake, they keep their bodies even after attaining samadhi. Erup Mahapurush Jiber Dukke Kador. Like this, these great spiritual giants, these great incarnations, the great spiritual enlightened personalities, they are so much concerned about the sufferings of the people. And therefore, retain the bodies. Doesn't matter. Their bodies also have to undergo the sufferings. They also suffer from diseases and ailments like our Thakur himself. How much he suffered for the sake of his beloved children. Cancer of the throat. Our Ma, how much she suffered even after retaining the body, after attaining samadhi, with all that rheumatic pain in the legs. Throughout her life, she suffered. But they bear that suffering. They have got that inner strength to bear that suffering for lessening the suffering of others. So Sri Ramakrishna says, Erup Mahapurush Jiber Dukke Kator. They are so much concerned about sufferings of the ordinary people. এরা স্বার্থপর নয় যে আপনাদের গান হলেই হলো. They are not selfish that I have attained enlightenment, I have attained the ultimate knowledge, that's it. No, me and my knowledge, let me enjoy that peace. No. They want to share it with others. They want to share it with people who are plodding on this path, who want to walk on this path, but they don't know how to. And that's where this experience they most compassionately they want to share. স্বার্থপর লোকের কথা তো জানো. Sri Ramakrishna says, now you very well know how the selfish people, how their attitude is, how they behave. Sri Ramakrishna gives this naughty example. He says, "এখানে মত বললে মুতবে না, আছে তোমার উপকার হয়ে।" Chokoler Hasho. Now Sri Ramakrishna very naughtily says, if you tell a selfish person with a selfish attitude, if you tell that person, oh please urinate here, he'll say no. Why? Because he will keep on thinking, possibly in future, if I urinate here, it may be of some use to him. Maybe he has put some seed there and he wants my urine to be a kind of a fertilizer. So he'll say no. That is the attitude that the selfish people have. You tell them you urinate, they won't. Thinking in future it might bring some good to that person. And then all the Brahma devotees started laughing on this particular naughty, that's example that Sri Ramakrishna gave. And another funny example Sri Ramakrishna gives. एक 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 পয়সার সন্দেশ দোকান থেকে আনতে দিলে চুষে চুষে এনে দে. I says if you tell somebody, these kind of people who have all that selfish interest within themselves, you give them 1 anna, 1/16th of a rupee, 6 paise. Give 1 anna and tell him, go to the sweetmeat shop and bring me a sandesh for 1 anna. He will buy the sandesh, and what he will do before giving you, he will pick a few pieces of that sandesh. Oh, nice. This kind of selfish people that, having attained the ultimate knowledge, they will just enjoy it themselves. They won't share it with you. And here also again, everybody starts laughing. Shokoler Hasho. Now Sri Ramakrishna gets a bit into a serious mode and he says, into Vishesh. He says, there is manifestation of a special divine power in some. সামান্য আধার লোক শিক্ষা দিতে ভয় করে. The ordinary person, ordinary man is afraid to give spiritual instruction to others. হাবাতে কাঠ নিজের একরকম করে ভেসে. হাবাতে কাঠ. The old and worn out wood may float on water. নিজে একরকম করে ভেসে. But the old as a piece of wood, a log, small log, it might float itself on the water in a river. কিন্তু এক পাখি এসে বসলে ডুবে যায়. A worn out log of wooden log may float on water in the river, but even if a small bird sits on it, it will drown. And it will take the bird also with it and drown, make it drown. So that is the kind of worn out wood which has no stuff inside. If it floats on water. Kintu Narodadi Bahaduri Kaat. But he says, people, personalities like Narad and others, eternal teachers, they are huge and mighty logs. Not like that worn out, which will drown even if a small bird sits on it. And the bird also with it, but not huge and mighty logs like Narad and others, like Chaitanya Dev. A কাঠ নিজেও ভেসে যায়. That huge log is so capable of floating itself. আবার উপরে কত মানুষ, গরু, হাতি পর্যন্ত নিয়ে যেতে পারে. And those huge and mighty logs, fine, they will of course float on water because they are wooden logs. They are not worn out. They are mighty stuff. Not only themselves, but they will also carry people sitting on the huge wooden logs. They will keep on going from one place to another using those logs. And Sri Ramakrishna says, why only Manoj? Goru, Hati Portion to Nijete Pare. Those logs are so mighty, so heavy, so huge that they can carry even people, even the animals, and even the elephants on them. That is the strength. That is the mighty strength of such logs. And he says that advents, the people like Narada, like Chaitanya Deva, the incarnations, the eternal teachers, they are like these logs. They will float on water themselves. And they will also carry people on them. They will carry animals on them. They will carry even elephants on them. Because they have that strength. They are not the fickle and meek like the puffed rice soaked in water like stuff. No, they have stuff in them. They have great realizations, and with that strength, those realizations, they have retained these bodies to illumine the people, to instruct the people, to teach the people who are just squirming in the dark, don't know which path to go, where to go, how to go. These are the torch bearers, great teachers. They have the command of God. They have got the command of God. They are God themselves who have retained these bodies. So that is the beautiful teaching Sri Ramakrishna has given us today. And with that, the sixth chapter has come to an end. And regarding the signs of God realization, the seven planes, and stopping of duties after samadhi, and also retaining the body after attaining samadhi by great people, by the saints, by the eternal teachers, by the incarnations like Sri Chaitanya, Sri Ramakrishna, Buddha, Jesus, and all these. So we stop our reading here today, and our next reading will be the seventh chapter, which is Sri Ramakrishna is going to talk about Brahma Samaje Prarthana Paddhati. The discussion is going to be the prayer system of the Brahmos, the Brahmo Samaj, Ishborer, Ishboryo Bornana, and the talk on God's powers and God's glories. So this the semi-annual function is going to be quite interesting. A lot of learning and a lot of teachings from Sri Ramakrishna on various topics. So that we will take it up in our next reading. As of now, Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.